So for my English 53 class, this is what we're going to have to read over the over the spring break. And it is kind of beefy. This is a double-sided page too, so let's see here. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, so 12 pages here. And you might be thinking, oh, hey, that's nothing. And to that I say, you're right, but I suck at reading. So let's try getting through the first 5 pages. So let's do this. Battle Royale by Ralph Ellison. It goes a long way back, some 20 years. All my life I had been looking for something, and everywhere I turned, someone tried to tell me what it was. I accepted their answers, too, though they were often in contradiction and even self-contradictory. I was naive. I was looking for myself and asking everyone except myself questions which I and only I can answer. Then why would you ask them? It took me a long time and much painful boomeranging of my expectations to achieve a realization everyone else appears to have been born with, that I am nobody but myself. But first I had to discover that I am an invisible man. That still does not make any sense to me. And yet, I am no freak of nature, nor of history. I was in the cards, other things having been equal or unequal 85 years ago. I am not ashamed of my grandparents for having been slaves. I am only ashamed of myself for having at one time been ashamed. Okay? About 85 years ago, they were told they were free, united with others of our country in everything pertaining to the common good, and and in everything social, separate like the fingers of the hand. And they believed it. They exulted in it. They stayed in their place, worked hard, and brought up my father to do the same. So wait a second. So, uh, 85 years ago, they were told they were free, united with others in our country pertaining to the common good, and stayed their place. Okay, so I think this is post-Civil War, or no, not post-Civil War, but not during the Civil War, before the Civil War, and here they are talking about separate but equal, and we all know why that does not work. It's a really weird concept when you think about it. So you're separate but equal. Well, if you're equal, then why are you not together? If you're equal means the same, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll edit in the proper dictionary definition into this if I can, but yeah, I never really. Yeah, that is such a weird thing to think about to me these days. But anyways, let's see here. They exulted in it. They stayed in their place, worked hard, my father to do the same. But grandfather is the one. He was an odd guy, my grandfather, and I am told I take after him. It was he who caused the trouble. On his deathbed, he called my father to him and said, "Son, after I am gone, I want you to keep up the good fight. I never told you, but our life is a war, and I have been a traitor born all my days, a spy in the enemy's country, ever since I gave up my gun back in the Reconstruction. Live with your head in the lion's mouth. I want you to overcome him with yeses, undermine him with grins, agree him to death and destruction. Let him swallow you till they vomit or burst wide open. If you're wondering why I changed my voice, that was me trying to do my old man voice. Anyways, they thought the old man had gone out of his mind. He had been the meekest of men. The younger children were rushed from the room, the shades drawn, and the flame of the lamp turned so low that it sputtered on the wick like the old man's breathing. But my folks were more alarmed over his last words than over his dying. It was as though he had not died at all. His words caused so much anxiety. I was warned empathetically to forget what he had said, and indeed, this is the first time it has been mentioned outside of the family circle. It had a tremendous effect upon me, however. I could never be sure of what he meant. Grandfather had been a quiet old man who never made any trouble. Yet on his deathbed, he called himself a traitor and a spy, and had spoken of his meekness as a dangerous activity. Wait, meekness as a dangerous activity? Alright. It became a constant puzzle which lay unanswered in the back of my mind, and whenever things went well for me, I remembered my grandfather and felt guilty and uncomfortable. It was as though I was carrying out his advice in spite of myself. And to make it And to make it worse, everyone loved me for it. I was praised by the most lily-white men in town. I was considered an example of a desirable conduct as my grandfather had been. And what puzzled me was that the old man had defined it as treachery. When I was praised for my conduct, I felt guilt that in some way I was doing something that was really against the wishes of white folks. That if they understood, they would have desired me to act just the opposite, that I should have been sulky and mean, and that really would have been what they wanted, even though they were fooled and thought they wanted me to act as I did. Okay, so I think he's trying to say that the white people, they want him to act independently. So I guess this is themes of equality here. So let's see here. Where was I? They were fooled. It made me afraid. It made me afraid that someday they would look upon me as a traitor and I would be lost. Still more afraid to act any other way because they didn't act like that at all. The old man's words were like a curse. On my graduation day, I delivered an oration in which I showed that humility was the secret indeed, the very essence of progress. Not that I believed this. How could I? Remembering my grandfather, I only believed that it worked. It was a great success. Everyone praised me, and I was invited to give the speech at a gathering of the town's leading white citizens. It was a triumph for the whole community. And this has been going on for almost 9 minutes, so I think I'll just stop here. But so far it's been a decent read. And to quickly skim this, it was in the main ballroom of the leading hotel. When I got there, I discovered that it was on the occasion of a smoker. Let's see here, tuxedos. Seems like quite the party. In those pre-invisible days, I visualized myself as a potential Booker T. Washington. Okay? Let's see here. Something about whiskey taking effect, so I suppose they are getting drunk. Quite tipsy. Blah, blah, blah. So, I might make another vlog of some parts of the middle and the ending, but that'll do it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Catch you later.